We take it for granted this satisfying click of a bezel. This is the sound of a professional diving watch that was used back in the day by divers when there weren't any wrist computers available that divers use today. So imagine if you're 50 meters underwater and your life depends on the oxygen in your tank, and this tool on your wrist is the one thing letting you keep track of your oxygen, and then suddenly you bump your wrist onto something and the bezel turns on its own in either the clockwise or opposite direction without you knowing it. Meaning now the watch is either showing you more time than you have underwater or less time depending upon the direction it turned in. Bezel is a tool on a diver's watch which allows the diver to keep track of the oxygen in the oxygen tank. But also there is another tracker for ascending and decompressing. So this was developed back in the day by American Navy SEALs, where after being underwater for 45 minutes, there was a separate tracker for 15 minutes to ascend with regular decompression stops. So now let's see how this works. Let's imagine I'm a diver who's about to dive at 6 o'clock. My oxygen tank is going to last for slightly over an hour, and if I dive at 6, 45 minutes from 6 is where I need to start ascending. So now once the minute hand reaches this indicator here, I know I have a 15-minute tracker to ascend. So I'll slowly ascend, taking all my decompression stops, and by the time it's 7 o'clock, I'm back in the surface, safe and sound. Until 1953, dive watches did not serve any purpose because of the bidirectional bezels. A bidirectional bezel has always been a flaw in the original design of a diver's watch. The single simple mechanical feature, the unidirectional bezel, is arguably the most critical evolution in the history of a dive watch. Before the early 1950s, a dive watch was simply a water-resistant watch. If a diver wanted to track the elapsed time underwater, he would probably use the minutes hand, which was not very easy to read underwater, or he would make a mark on the exterior surface of the watch. The first external timing bezels were bidirectional. That means you could either move them clockwise or counterclockwise. This was fine for timing a pizza delivery, but not for decompression stops. Let me explain why a bidirectional bezel is dangerous for a diver. So if the bezel gets bumped clockwise, the diver would think he has more time than he actually has underwater and would fail to rise at the correct time and probably run out of oxygen while underwater. So the solution was simple, brilliant, and non-negotiable. The bezel should only move counterclockwise. Even if a diver bumped his watch bezel onto a rock while diving, it would only reduce the amount of time left instead of extending it, ensuring that the diver will always come up before the oxygen gets depleted in the tanks. This is achieved by using a ratchet system which allows the bezel to only move in one direction, which is counterclockwise, and not in the other. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the engineering of diving watches, then do like and subscribe. Blancpain was the first to find a solution to this problem and patented the unidirectional bezel and launched the first ever truly diving watch, the 50 Fathoms, in 1953. The patent restricted all other brands to follow suit until it expired, and then Rolex launched its Submariner with a unidirectional bezel in 1979, and other brands soon adopted the same standard. Many of these watches were friction fit and lacked the click sound that you have in the diver's bezels today. The clicks themselves, 60 clicks versus 120 clicks, are simply a matter of preference. 60 clicks allow you to time to the very minute, whereas 120 clicks allow you to time to every half a minute, offering double the precision. Today the function remains the same, but what has changed drastically is the material that is used. Moving away from painted aluminum bezels that scratched and faded over a period of time, ceramic offers superior hardness, UV resistance, and a permanent high gloss. It also allows for sophisticated processes like etching and PVD coating for the minute markers and lume. From a simple timing ring to a critical piece of life-saving equipment, the dive watch bezel is a perfect example of design driven by necessity. It reminds us that often the most important functions in neurology aren't found in the complex internal mechanics, but in the external user-friendly details. If you want to dive deeper into the technical side of horology, smash that subscribe button.